Every single person is disciplined in something. I want you to come with me back into time where we go flying past in the European country, all the way back to the landscape. That if any of you have read the book The Alchemist, where a shepherd boy is there. And as the shepherd boy is there, the whole book envelops his journey to be able to find his treasure. And as he goes along this journey, he meets several people. He meets the crystal merchant. He goes out and meets his, I think it's an English friend, as well as he goes throughout the desert, eventually meeting the alchemist. And the alchemist, if any of you don't know, is someone who has the ability to turn lead into gold, of basically taking the impure metals and transmuting it into gold, purity. And I think about that when I think of this because it's not just about Napoleon Hill uses all his examples about the sex drive, the passion behind it, and how to redirect that into something beneficial for you, of something that is not just something that could be addicting, but refocusing the energy into something else. Back in the old times when alchemists were around, and I actually don't know. I don't know if people can do that today. When they had lead and turned it into gold, they took the lead, and I want you to think of lead as your fears, your anxieties, your stresses, those things that have held you back, your limitations. That through the transmuting power, turning that now into something of which is passion driven, which is forward going, those goals, those dreams that you want, it's the results that you have. This isn't the fear, this isn't the anxieties, this is the courage, this is the confidence, this is the ability to push forward. Maybe probably a simpler example or a more relatable example is you enter a dark room. What's the first thing you do? You go on over and you flip that light switch. Now we have faith and we have trust that when we flip that light switch on, the light's going to come on. When the light comes on, it illuminates the room. Whatever the the particles and whatnot spew everywhere, be able to illuminate the room. The crazy thing too is that it can never go through a solid object. So the hardest things that are in this world, that light can't get through by just being that light bulb. It can illuminate the room that's in, but if you go around the corner, the, the light ain't touching it. And this fly is bugging me that's flying around. So I'm going to transmute my anger into something of teaching you this lesson of if you take that light and shrink it into a single point, that becomes something that we call a laser. And simply taking all the light rays into that single point and putting into a laser, it can go through any solid object and it can cut through anything. And I want you to think about the goals. I want you to think about the results that you want. I want you to think about those wishes, those dreams that you have, and how right now it's just a thought among thousands of hundreds of thousands of thoughts that you have. And the only way for it to actually become something more than a thought is to take it out of your head and put it into this thing we call reality. You are transmuting it from what it was before, transferring that energy into something more. Even the simplicity of grabbing a piece of paper, which I don't have in front of me, and writing it down, you have done more to that thought of making it a reality than all the hundreds, if not millions, of thoughts that you had before. So, when it comes to this transmutation principle of taking the energy from one thing and transmuting it into something else, transferring your ability into the thing that you actually want, it really is simple when it comes down to it. As someone who is dyslexic, I have to break things down. Have to, because in its simplest form, that's how I understand things. People use jargon words, people try to explain complicated formulas. I ain't that way. I'm like, no, we're breaking it super simple. So I think, how do we take what was into what we want? And the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, you need the discipline to do it. You just need to get it. So I think of discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is simply doing something consistently over a long period of time. So, okay, so if I do something instead of like going after fear, which I've been putting my energy in, and instead maybe I'm being more courageous. Maybe if I meet a stranger, I'll say hi on the street. Or maybe I will go to the gym and do the workout that week. Or maybe I will pick up the phone and and make that sales call. Or I'll hold the phone up here and hit the record button and record myself past the imperfections. I'm then transmuting the energy into a different side. And if I continually do that over and over and over again and do it for a long period of time, then I am considered a disciplined person. But what I don't think people realize is that you're a disciplined person in that. Because as I've broken this down, I've also realized that everybody is disciplined. Every single person is disciplined in something. Because when we say yes to something, we also say no to something else. So if we are all disciplined in something, this could be disciplined in when, like, so for myself, I open my laptop. I'm disciplined that the first thing that pops up on the screen is the thing I'm focused on. I'm also disciplined of when it comes to my family that I prioritize them. But I'm also disciplined at watching YouTube and playing Pokemon Go often. I am disciplined whether it's good or bad. So each of us are disciplined, and the only difference in people who are disciplined in the things that we want versus what we feel like we are not disciplined in is simply they are using their time doing things that are more of what they are wanting to get as a result. So if the only thing difference is that they are just using their time to go after different things, then simply that breaks down for me. So I just need to do more of the things that help me get what I want and do less of the things that don't get me what I want. I was working with a client, and one of the things that he was procrastinating on was to become a speaker and start a podcast. That's really what he wanted. But he was spending 4 hours playing video games every single day. And I said, cool. If you are actually wanting that, then what I'd say to you is out of those 4 hours that you spend on video games, take 10, take 15 minutes out of that and hit record on your phone. Record yourself with an episode and then just upload it to Spotify. That's it. Because you still have 3 hours and 45 minutes, which, come on, let's be real. That's basically 4 hours. You still get your basically 4 hours of video games, and you're starting your podcast. And so breaking it down to the simplest of form, it's doing more of what you want and less of what you don't want. And not instant gratification, not what you want right now. We're talking like long-term goals. Because you gotta think ahead. If you're not thinking ahead, there's no reason to change. Why would you change for something else if there's no reason to do it? So wrapping this all back together, if you are wanting to get rid of the fear, the anxiety, the stress, the focusing on challenges, the limitations, if you're wanting to transmute that into courage, confidence, the ability to get results, to be disciplined, to not need motivation, but to get things done when you say you get them done. If you're wanting that in the simplest of form, it's doing less time with the stuff that isn't getting you there and more time with the stuff that does. And my challenge to you is whatever that is for you, I want you to start, just like my client, to take that 10 or 15 minutes to do more of what you want a day and take it away from the things that are not serving you. Because in my experience, and what I've seen from my clients, is that it is not the big jumps that get people their success, but it is the little adjustments, the transmuting of energy, the transferring of time that get you the results that you want. Every single day, do small, consistent things as you transmute your time and your energy to focus more on what matters to you, and you will get the results that you want.